Okay, so here it is. We got the Kubota hooked up with the new quick hitch, and I've got the Landpride rotary mower, rough cutter, whatever you want to call it, hooked onto the quick hitch. But here's a problem. The lower link pins are fine. There's an adapter there, you'll see. But up top here is the supposed floating top link. But it is kind of in a floating position there, but you can see at the hook here, that thing won't stay in there. So yeah, you can see that the floating top link will not stay in place. So, and not only that, but it jams up when I go to raise or lower the mower. So it jams at the bottom of the hook there. But when I'm mowing, this thing is actually free to move up and down, and if the tractor is forward and the mower is back, then that thing will drop right out of place. Not that that's a big deal, but I guess you should have that third element of the 3-point hitch hooked up. More critical in some applications maybe than this one, but still, I'd like to have it floating, moving like it's supposed to, but staying where it's supposed to too. So I'm going to take that hook out of there, and I'm going to, I think, drill a hole right here in that top part of that hitch. You can see that the hook is removable, so I'm going to drill a 3/4 hole and put a eye bolt in there and extend that floating top link. So I'll work on that. I'll take some pictures as I go, and we'll see if we can string together a little bit of a story here. Okay, so far so good. There's the 1/2-inch drill with the 3/4 inch bit in it. It's nasty. And there's step one. The eye bolt is set in and bolted into that top plate, so that I've got a hook now for the floating top link. And you can see there, it'll be easily removable. Just take that nut off. I'll put another one on there as a locker. And then when I don't need that hook, I'll just put the regular hook back in there. So far so good. And I think now I'm going to go and start cutting my 2 floating links. I think I've determined that they'll be about 8 inches long, and that should allow for at least a 20-degree angle downward on the mower. So yeah, that's part one. And there's the jig for drilling the holes. It'll hold the 2 links nice and steady, especially when I do the 3/4 hole. Everybody knows what happens with the big 3/4 inch bit into steel. So I think this will hold it in place nicely. We'll find out.
Okay, I had a little incident as I was drilling through the 2 link plates. The bit got caught on the bottom side of the first link as I was going through into the second one, and of course sent the thing flying and caused me a little bit of anxiety and consternation. So as you can see, I've redone the jig to hold things down steady so that they can't come out anymore. So, you know, just a word of caution, be careful as you're drilling that stuff with that 3/4 bit. It'll bind up on you and can hurt you.
One thing I wanted to add and forgot to is that I did pay attention to the rating on that hook, or eye bolt I mean. It's rated at 7,200 pounds, but what you got to be careful is that that's 7,200 pounds on a straight on pull. So if you get it down on the angle, you lose a lot of the WLL, working load limit. So make sure you know that you've got enough rating there, and try and design it for a straight on pull as much as possible, which I think I'll have here, but we'll double check that in a minute when I get the links cut and set. Okay, there it is. 2 3/4 inch holes drilled. Actually, it's a total of 4 because there's 2 links there. So I got the holes drilled. Those links I think are ready for a test. I don't know about my little table there. It's taken a little bit of a beating, but the jig was a good idea. It really holds those things down there good. So I'm glad I did that. And make sure you keep the cutting oil pouring as you drill. That too, I think, helps. Okay, on to the next step. I'll see if I can fit it up. Okay, there it is. Hopefully you can hear me over the tractor. There is a brand new floating top link. You can see the lighter colored metal is the pieces that I did. I've got a couple of tidy up jobs that I can do. Maybe round off some corners and stuff. But you can see that eye bolt is easily removable. I can take that out of there and put the conventional hook back in for all the rest of the implements. But the hook and that floating top link will stay with this mower. Now I'm going to try to jump on the tractor here and drive ahead slowly, and you'll see that thing drop back into place as I come up the hill. I don't know if you could make it out, but see, there it is dropping down, coming back as everything comes back to level. So right about there is where the mowing flat ground position will be. And then as I back up again toward the hill, you'll see it start to straighten out. Got to be careful here, I don't back down the hill and wind up through the fence. There it is, straightening out, straightening, 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 and there it is, holding. Okay, so now the other thing, I've got some adjustment here because I can move the quick hitch forward or backward by adjusting right there on the top link. So I've got almost infinite ability to adjust this thing for varying terrain. So at this point I'm going to call it a success, but I'll have to run it a little bit and maybe we'll figure out that I've got a couple of other mistakes there. But so far so good. I think it's going to work out okay. Okay, there it is with the mower lifted up using that same top link in its working position. So you got a little bit of lift there. If I wanted to lift it higher, I would take that middle pin out here and move it back here. And then I could get way more lift. But talking about lift, that's the reason that I was being so careful with the size of that eye bolt, because that's a lot of weight there to lift that thing up right off the ground straight out like that. I don't know what that weight is, and there's probably a way to calculate it. I just don't know how. But anyway, the whole theme of all my sizing was around 3/4 inch, and that's partly for strength and also partly for the fact that all the top link stuff on a category 1 hitch is 3/4 inch. So I tried to keep everything the same. And on top of that, I already had a 3/4 inch bit. I didn't want to have to go and spend another $30 on another bit, 5/8 or something like that. So yeah, I was able to keep it all at 3/4 inch. And you can see there right now, that's not exactly a straight on pull. So that's, you know, defeating the purpose or infringing a little bit on that maximum weight, but it's only a little bit off a straight pull, and I've got 7,200 pounds rating on that 3/4 inch eye bolt, so I think I've got lots of you know, contingency there. So all in all, I think it's good. Pretty skookum piece, works like a charm. I'm just going to go now and give it a field test to make sure it'll all mold like it's supposed to and do everything that it's supposed to do. So okay, again, I think that's the end. And like I say, I'm really tickled.
So with it lifted up, I thought it was a good chance to sharpen the blades and just inspect the deck underneath. Notice the jack stands for safety. Just don't want that thing falling on anybody or anything. So yeah, with that much elevation, the maintenance was easy and it worked good.